So, welcome to the ZMY Begin class. My name is Jennifer, I'll be your guide for this evening. I can't help it. So, what I want you to do actually is lie down on your back with your knees bent, feet separated, just so the knees can hang together and you can kind of, just at your comfort level, depending on how long your legs are, it might feel more comfortable to have the feet closer together, but this should feel restful. And then if you can extend the arms out to the sides, or you can even bend at the elbows if you're limited with room. We're going to begin here. One of the reasons I love this class so much is because we get to focus on the breath so much. Because that is really where it begins and ends, always with noticing your breath. So with your eyes closed, maybe you can tune in with the pattern of your breathing that you have this evening. And see if you can notice the breath without attaching any thought or feeling to it. Just notice what it's doing and follow it. We're going to talk today about balance. We're going to do a lot of balancing postures with help if we need, so not to scare you. So see if you can first find some balance in the breath. Inhaling belly, chest, and then exhaling. Just an even inhale and exhale. No pause, no control. And the thing about balance is, and why we practice it on the mat, is because when the postures get more difficult, our breath will want to get out of balance, and we want to practice keeping it slow and steady, just like you have now. I have a little something I want to read to you, and all you need to do is lie there and breathe. This is from the Meditations from the Mat by Rolf Gates. Yoga is the study of balance, and balance is the aim of all living creatures. It is our home. Sometimes we are far from our home and weary from our travels. The sun is setting and there is no destination in sight. Yoga is a lamp lit in the window of our home, dimly glimpsed across the spiritual wilderness in which we wander. At a time when we could not feel further from our home, yoga reminds us that we are already there, that we simply need to awaken from our dream of separation and our dream of imperfection. Our body craves balance. It does everything in its power to find that homeostasis and that balance. And once you begin to practice being aware of where the imbalances are, the body remembers quickly. So maybe think for a moment where you're seeking balance in your life right now. And notice on your mat how that can translate into that area of your life. We'll take another breath or two here. And then we're just going to begin to drop the knees to the left. So you can keep the feet separated or bring them together. Just decide what's more comfortable. This isn't gonna be, a deep twist or anything. We're just gonna drop the knees to the right for a couple of breaths. And then drop them to the left. Just move slowly. Begin to open up the hips, warm up the hips. And then bring the knees back up towards the ceiling. We'll find stillness here. Bring your right ankle to your left knee. Okay, so just like a figure 4. And just start to rotate the ankle joint. So just circle the ankle around. Both directions. And then go ahead and grab behind the left thigh if you can. If you're feeling enough of a stretch of the foot down, then that's fine too. But if you can interlace behind the left leg and draw that knee towards the body, that's what we're going to do. Try the other leg, Sarah. It might be. No? Yeah?
Oh.
Yes. Is that better? Okay, good.
I was like, wait, do you? I was doing it wrong.
And then the right foot you're going to want to keep flexed just to keep support and stabilization in the right knee joints. Most of us are going to feel the stretch on the outside of the right leg in the piriformis muscle. If we're sitting a lot, if we're, at a computer or whatever a lot, this might be a pretty tight area for us. Take one more breath here. And then go ahead on your next exhale, bring your left foot to the ground, and then the right foot is actually going to stay where it is. We're going to come into somewhat of like a straddle twist here. So what I want you to do with your legs in this figure 4, just drop the foot to the left. And then the left hand is going to support that top leg, and you can extend the right arm. So a little bit deeper of a twist here. And find that even breath. Just a slow, steady inhale and exhale. Inhale, bring the knees back up towards the ceiling, uncross the legs, both feet are on the mat now. And then go ahead and take the left ankle and put it on the right thigh. We're going to do the same thing that we just did with the other leg. If you can interlace the feet, well, yes, circle the ankle wrist or the ankle joint first. I'm glad you guys are paying attention. Both directions, just move it around. This does not seem like it's a big deal, but it is such a big deal. These little movements for the joints, that's what keeps them moving. If we don't pay attention to them, they literally get dried out and lose mobility. Now go ahead and interlace the fingers behind the right thigh, draw the knee towards the body, and let the head and shoulders just rest towards the mat best you can. If you need to put a block or something underneath your head to support you, you can do that. Be sure the left foot stays flexed, and breathe here. Notice any differences on this side than the other side. And now go ahead and release the right foot to the ground. And we're going to keep the left foot up and cross it over the right side of the mat. So coming into that twist on the other side. Use your right hand to support that top leg. And then extend the left arm out. We'll take another breath or two here. See if you can soften the muscles in the face, jaw, the throat. go ahead and bring the knees back up towards the ceiling, uncross the legs. You're going to hug the knees, but I want you to bring them up towards the bottom one at a time. This way you're using the abdominals and you're not using the lower back. Once you have the knees, rock left to right and really just squish the lower back on the mat. And then go ahead and come to stillness, drop your feet to the mat, straighten your legs, and then bring your arms overhead. Take a long stretch before we move any further. And then bring the arms down, bend the knees once again. We're actually gonna roll onto our side, roll onto your right side and pause there. Now, this is a begin class, so we do give a little bit of background information on some things. And the reason that we roll onto our right side is because it allows the large intestine to kind of descend and all the organs to have room to descend. If you're lying on your left side, you're more or less crunching. And now you're going to roll yourself onto your belly. So come into a prone position. Plus, it just feels nice to lie on your side for a moment, doesn't it? I mean, for some people, I guess, not for everyone. All right. You're going to use your right arm as a pillow. We're going to grab for the left ankle or the left foot and bring the heel towards the body to open up, or not, to open up the front of the leg and open up the hips. Do you have a cramp, Joe?
Just about, yeah.
Okay, well, don't do it then. Just leave it. If you press your hips into the mat, you'll get more of an opening. You'll feel it more in the hip flexors. Let the top of the other foot be flat on the mat. You're just going to continue to breathe here. Allison, I like to think that my voice, but of course I know they're just happy to see you. I've gotten to see a lot of Zoom doggies and cats. We'll take another breath or two here. Go ahead and release. Switch pillows, so use your left arm to rest your forehead on, and then grab the right ankle or foot. Now remember here, we are still, the part of the body we're stretching is obviously the quadriceps, the front of the leg, and the hips. But we don't want to let the shoulders droop forward. This is still an opportunity to strengthen the back body. So keep the shoulders away from the ears. Let the muscles between the shoulder blades do their job. So you're drawing the shoulder blades towards each other. And this way the neck can stay neutral as well. And again, notice any differences here. When it comes to the hips and even the quadriceps, the hips are really the window to the legs, the knees, the ankles. So if you have one side that's tighter than the other, you're definitely going to feel it in the front of the leg and possibly the knee as well. It's okay to feel a little bit of a stretch in the knee, but nothing painful. Definitely let go. Yeah. And then go ahead and release. All right. Hands are going to come to the lower ribs. You're going to bring yourselves to hands and knees, and then fall back into child's pose. So big toes together, knees apart. Sit back on the heels if you can. If this isn't good for your knees, shift your weight forward. Tell me where you're at here. Are you comfortable there with your knees?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. back to the breath. Feel the evenness of the breath traveling up and down the back of the body. If it feels good to have a little bit of movement here, you can roll the forehead on the ground, you can rock the body a little bit left to right, or you can find stillness here if that's what you need. On your next inhale, begin to lift the head. Walk the hands a little bit closer to the body, not too much. And I know you guys can't see me right now, but you've been here before, you've done this. So walk your hands to the right, soften towards the floor. Start to get an opening in the left side of the body. So anytime we're doing a yoga class, we want to have all the ways that the spine can bend and flex. We want to add that. So this is our lateral stretch. You guys were just doing the forward fold in child's pose, and we are going to do some back bends today too. Already done the twisting as well. On your next inhale, lift the head, walk your hands to the left, and move slowly because sometimes, depending on your spine, this could be a pretty deep bend for you. Soften towards the floor. And then go ahead, inhale, lift, come back to center. And then you're going to bring yourselves to hands and knees. You two in the studio are going to turn around and face me.
Having trouble figuring left from right this evening.
That is okay. As long as you know you're doing both sides.
Well, that's what I figured. We're balanced, right? So we'll get around to it.
Yeah, and my instruction is usually left hand, right, then it gets super confusing, but it's okay as long as you're doing both sides. Okay, we are going to do Vidalasana, which is cat pose, to manipulate the spine back and forth and continue to warm up the spine. Be sure that your knees are hip apart, and you want to make sure that your hands are a little bit in front of the shoulders. Fingers are spread, and you're pressing the palms into the mat. This is really important whenever we're balancing or putting weight on our hands. As you inhale, lift your tail, and then raise your chin. Feel the spine kind of sink towards the front of the body. And then as you exhale, you're going to begin to round or tuck the tailbone, arch the back, separating the shoulder blades, and then drop the head. And then keep going back and forth at the pace of your breath. Whatever feels balanced to you. If there's ever a yoga pose that you do, this should be it. This would just save your spine all the way through your lifetime and keep your mobility. Joe, if you want to take your mask off on the mat, you can, but it's up to you. We're going to do a few more rounds here. I'm sorry, I should have told you that. And then go ahead, wherever you are, just finish up, come to a flat back or a neutral spine. We're going to actually do our first balancing pose on our knees. So if you do need some cushion under your knees here, or if you don't know, just go ahead and sit yourself up on your knees. So we're standing on our knees. If that's uncomfortable, fold your mat and give yourself some more cushion. Fold your mat and give yourself more cushion. I do have this nice cork floor that was,
Put it in.
I don't know. That's in Andy Banner's head for a while. Are your knees okay here?
Yes.
Okay, so once we're standing on our knees, we're gonna do gate pose. We're gonna be using, we're not just on one leg here, but it's still a good balancing pose. You're gonna take your right leg out to the side. If you can, as much as you can, have your toes pointing face forward. just like when we're doing our wide leg forward fold. This lines up the knee to the ankle and keeps everything safe. So the right hand is gonna rest on top of the right leg. We are not gonna be pressing on the leg. We're just gonna be kind of lightly sliding as we do this. Take your left hand, inhale, bring the arm up. And then as you exhale, lean to the right. So side opener here. Take a couple of breaths. You might feel it on the inner right thigh as well. If your adductors are tight. And now we're going in the other direction, okay? This is a little bit more tricky. If you need a block, I recommend using a block or a small dog or the couch or something like that. Your left hand is gonna go to the ground and your right arm comes up and over the other side. Good. And take another breath or two here. And then you're gonna have to use strength here, right, to push yourself up. So legs, abdominals, bring the hand down. And then the transition is important because that's part of balance. Bring your right knee in, your left leg out. Those little movements matter for strengthening the bones and things like that as well. So other side, now I know what we're doing. Left hand is resting, inhale the right arm up. And then exhale, lean to the left. Find a spot on the floor that you can gaze at or close your eyes here. But find some focus. You just cramp it up left and right.
Yeah.
It's okay. Like, don't torture yourself. Just say if you need to sit.
I just like walking the street.
Yeah. Now other side. Right hand to the floor, nice and slow, left arm up and over. That's it. I mean, this is not, I guess it kind of looks easy, but it's pretty intense, right? Breathe through it. And now we're going to push ourselves up. Remember, zip up the abdominals, lift the pelvic floor. That's your strength. Bring the left knee in. And now we're back to hands and knees. We're going to do bird dog here. I'm going to give you 2 options, okay? Since you're warmed up in the front of the body. And Jesse and Allison, I'm not sure, like, exactly flexibility-wise. You could just throw this out the window, the second option. The first option is going to be, you just watch me first, leg and arm come out. Second option, you can stay here or you can reach behind for the toes or the foot, okay? We're all going to start here anyways. You can stay there if you want. So bring the right leg out behind you. Just look straight down at your mat. Toes pointing down, lift from the inner thigh. And then extend the left arm, fingertips forward. Your palm is facing in towards the center. Navel up towards the spine, so just a nice long line here. Now you can stay here for 3 breaths or reach behind for 3 breaths. And we don't want to dump into our right shoulder. Make sure you're pushing the floor away from you. And then if you have your foot, release and extend. And then everybody comes back down to the mat. We're going to take a break before we move on to the other side. Take the top of your right hand, press it into the mat. So just a wrist stretch here, which we need anyways, even without the bird dog pose. Did you grab your foot? I didn't even.
I couldn't reach.
Okay.
Or I couldn't find it, but I don't think I could reach.
Yeah. Sometimes it's weird just to reach behind you, like where the heck is my foot?
I
cannot
could
find
see it out of the corner of my eye, but
Yeah.
it wasn't connecting.
And go ahead and release. We'll do the other side. So top of the left hand, press it into the mat. The more you sit back and the more you straighten your arm, the more you'll feel. I don't know about you guys, but I use my wrist way more than I want to, with typing and whatnot. So I think everyone in here probably does. Go ahead and release. Back to hands and knees. We're going to do the other side. So extend the left leg out, toes pointing down. We don't want it too high, we don't want it too low. We're looking for balance here. Navel towards the spine, extend the right arm. Find your breath and either stay here or reach slowly behind you, looking for that foot. Let me see how close you are on this. Oh, you're. You'll get there.
This side is tighter, but
Yeah, you're really not that far. If you have your foot, go ahead and release. Everybody brings their hand and knee back down on the mat. Come into child's pose one more time. We're only taking 3 breaths here. And then we're moving on. Once you've taken that third exhale, come up to hands and knees. Bring the knees back under the hips. We're going to come into our first downward facing dog. So curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back. You guys have all done down dog before. So bring the ears to the inner arms, and if you want to pedal the feet out here, go ahead and pedal the feet. Or you can be still. Make sure your wrists are lined up at the top of your mat, so they're parallel. Take one more breath here. And then we're going to walk backwards. So not in down dog, don't worry. Separate the feet to the edges of the mat. And see if as you walk your hands towards your feet, if you can slowly drop the heels. Now if your hamstrings are tight, you're going to have to bend your knees, that's fine. Always bend your knees, don't sacrifice the spine. Drop the head, grab opposite elbows. We're going to hang here for a moment, sway back and forth. So the legs are strong here, the upper body is just kind of pouring out of the waist. And also see if you're really letting go in the neck. Another breath. Bring your fingertips back to the mat. And we're bringing the hands to the thighs. We're not coming all the way up yet. We want a straight, long spine extending through the crown of the head. And now that nobody's going to pass out, inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Palms together. Exhale, hands in front of the heart. Bring the feet back together. Before we move into a couple rounds of Sun Salutation A, we're going to hang out in Tadasana for a moment. Now, the way that we can make mountain pose or Tadasana a balancing posture is close your eyes. Just challenge yourself, close your eyes, and I'm going to walk you through this. So come to the front of your mat. Get the inner edges of the feet parallel, lift the arches. Legs are strong, like you're squeezing a block between the thighs. From the navel up, you're reaching up. And so close the eyes if you feel safe closing the eyes. If you don't, that's fine. Let the arms kind of dangle. The muscles around the shoulder blades are doing the work here to keep the shoulders back and the chest lifted. And also if you tuck your chin, not tuck, but if you lower your chin just a little bit, the chest will also lift. And so if your eyes are closed, first notice the weight in your feet and where it's distributed. Be sure that it's even, all 4 corners of the feet, even weight. And then the thing with mountain pose is that it looks like we're just standing here, but sometimes it's one of the most difficult poses because we're looking for complete balance with our weight throughout the whole body, through the crown of the head, out through the fingertips, down through the feet. You can even rock a little bit left to right, front to back, just to find that equilibrium where you feel like the head is just floating on the neck and the body is just perfectly balanced. Feel this with your breath. And we'll focus on that even breath. 3 rounds. The inhale and exhale, no rush. And then go ahead and slowly blink the eyes open. Inhale, bring the arms up. And exhale, exhale, fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to. Get the belly towards the thighs here. Drop the head. Inhale, look up. Either fingertips to the floor or hands to the shins, whatever you need. And then on an exhale, we're stepping back and we're going to chaturanga down. So you can use your knees if you need to. Let the elbows touch the sides of the body. Evenly lower your body to the floor. Inhale, we're lifting to a cobra. So pelvis is on the mat, but the upper body is lifted. Curl the toes under. Exhale to downward facing dog. We're going to take 5 breaths here. But you could also do this in child's pose if you like. 1. Deep breathing. 2. Lengthen through the tailbone. Push the floor away from you. 3. And always bend your knees if you need to. 4. And 5. Inhale, look up, get to the front of your mat. And then exhale, fold. Drop the head all the way. Inhale, bring the arms all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. And back to mountain pose. We're going to do that one more time. Inhale, up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. Exhale, step back. Lower evenly to the floor. Chaturanga. Tops of the feet are flat as you lift to a cobra. And then curl the toes again. Downward facing dog. Hips up and back. 5 breaths. 1. Okay. 2. 3. You got it. Keep breathing. 4. And 5. Inhale, look up, step forward. Exhale, fold. Inhale all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in the row. Back to mountain pose. Okay, so we're going to do a wide leg forward fold here. So if you have tight hamstrings, you might want a block. You don't have to have a block. Just if you have one, or even a book or a small soup can or something like 2 soup cans. Separate your feet wide enough so that your feet are they're at least at the forearms, okay? Toes are pointing straight forward like we did with that gate pose in the beginning. We want the knees lined up with the ankles. The legs are very, very strong here, so lift everything. Feel the glutes engage. Put your hands on your pelvic rim. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, send the hips back and the chest forward. Keep lifting the sitting bones as you fold. And then when your hamstrings stop, you bring your fingertips to the block or the floor. We're going to take another breath here, lengthen through the crown of the head. Keep the legs strong. Maybe we can fold forward a little bit more. If not, that's fine. Once you find your limit, listen to that and then drop the head completely. Just let the head dangle here. Good. And Joe, you can keep your hands where they are, but walk them back towards the feet. Yeah. If your palms can still be on the floor. Yeah. Right there is good. Does that feel okay? Mm-hmm. Okay. Another breath or 2 here. Keep the legs strong. Press the outer ankle to the inner ankle. Be sure you're not rolling the ankles out. Go ahead, inhale, lift the head. So we're coming back to a flat back. And then as you exhale, bring your hands to your waist. If you need to bend the knees here to protect the lower back, please do that. And then inhale, come all the way up. We're going to exhale and bring our feet back together. Okay, moving on to balancing poses. Are you ready? Taking my socks off. It's getting serious in here. All right, just know that if you're at home, I don't know if you have carpet or hardwood floors, sometimes it's a little bit more difficult to balance. So, I mean, we should never be ashamed to use the wall or something like that. We're gonna start with tree, okay? I'm gonna give you two options for tree though. You're gonna either find your tree, so you've all done tree before. Allison, I don't need to assume, I'm assuming that you've done tree though, right? With a thumbs up, okay. So you're gonna find your tree anywhere on your leg. If your knee goes above your waist, then you can put your foot up here. Just don't put your foot on your knee, okay? So you're gonna be here, or you can bring your foot into half lotus, here. If you wanna open the hips a little more, you decide. My pants are very slippery, so I'm not doing that one. Lift your right heel. We'll start with our hands in front of our heart. Have your focus point, don't take your eyes off of it. And then just decide where you're gonna go. You can have your tree here, here, just find not where you want to be, but where the body is okay. Once you find your tree, you can keep your hands in front of your heart or open. If you're feeling pretty good here, you can even add some movement. Keep with a slow, steady breath. And if you fall out of it, just go right back in. The pelvic floor is lifted, gathered at the lower belly, in and up. And then go ahead and return the hands back in front of the heart. If you're in regular tree, we're going to point the knee forward, extend the leg, and release. If you're in half lotus, just go ahead and release. Back to mountain pose. Okay, I'm going to watch you guys this time. Go ahead and find your tree on your other leg. The one thing that we really want to make sure of in tree pose, something that happens is that we tend to, hold on, yeah. We tend to kind of sink into the hip because it's easy. So we want to always push that hip in and lift it up. Good. We're going to be here for a good 3 to 5 breaths. So keep your focus, use your breath. Go ahead and bring your hands back in front of your heart if they're not already. And then come out of your tree. Nice and slow and mindful. Those transitions are important. You guys pretty much rock that. I mean, so talk about transitioning off the mat. And we have noises going on here. You guys, I'm sure, have plenty of stuff going on at home too. When you can find that focus and that balance in the middle of things happening, that helps us off the mat, right? Okay, let's do a vinyasa in between, which is the partial sun salutation, but we're not going to be stopping for the 5 breaths. We're just going to move on to our second balancing pose, okay? So come to the front of your mat, inhale, bring your arms up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up, full inhale. And then as you exhale, you step back and lower, all on the same exhale. Inhale to cobra, elbows squeeze in, and then exhale to downward facing dog. And then we inhale, look up, get to the front of our mats. Exhale, hold, and then inhale all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Okay, dancer pose. Many different options for this. That thing we did lying down, face down, where we were, doing this, you're pretty much doing a prone position of dancer, okay? Takes a little bit more balance, and you can take this a little bit further. To start, I want you to just grab the ankle, okay? Just like you're doing a quadricep stretch, and use the wall if you need to. If you have the flexibility in your arm, you're gonna grab the inside of the foot. If that doesn't feel right, then just stay out here. Now you can just maybe have a hand in front of the heart, or you can extend the arm. Maybe you even push into the hand and start tipping forward as you go out the leg, or hold on to the wall. Good, and just breathe here. Wherever your body is, just honor that. You start to feel it in the knee, back out of it. And then come out of it the same way you came in. Come back to standing, release the foot, and back to mountain pose. Good. Other side. Do you guys all feel okay in that pose?
Yeah.
It is, I'm just gonna say, it's not a total beginner pose unless, standing like this, of course. There's always different levels, right? Yeah. And sometimes it's fun to just play and explore.
I was gonna try to do it without the wall, but I made tumble.
Yeah, just do it again. There you go. And just see where you are on the other side. Okay, take another breath or 2 or 3. Extend your arm if you like. And then go ahead and release. Nice.
Pressure.
Yeah, how did you do that with pressure on your knee?
Sure.
No, I'm just saying, like, that was really good. That was really good. Nice job, everyone. All right. Go ahead to the front of your mat. Inhale, bring the arms up. Just stretch everything out. Exhale, fold. Inhale, look up. And then exhale, step back, lower. All the way down evenly. Inhale, lift the tops of the feet, press into the mat. And then exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look up, step forward. Exhale, fold. And then inhale all the way up. Palms together, exhale, hands in front of the heart. Good, we're moving on to our last balancing pose for the night. And then we're just gonna take it back down to the mat. All right, so this one, again, you can use the wall. And there are also 2 options. Tell me if you've heard this one before. Either grab your knee, left hand is on the waist. We're gonna start here with the foot flexed. We're gonna bring it out to the side. We're gonna bring it back. And then we're gonna go here, and then here. Okay, I'm gonna walk you through it, of course. If it's in your practice, because I know some of you come to this class just because it's slower. If it's in your practice to grab the big toe, grab the big toe. Again, not a beginner pose, but if it's in your practice, go ahead. Here we go. Ready? Left hand on the waist. Grab your right knee. Have your focus point. That's the most important, that and the breath. Shoulders away from the ears. We're going to slowly move that knee out to the right and open up the hip. Let the ankle wobble. It's doing its job. Nice. Back to center. Now both hands on the waist. Extend the leg, point the toes. 1, 2, 3, and release. Nice. Okay, now I get to watch you. Other side. Right hand on the waist, and grab your left knee. Remember, lifting the pelvic floor, gather the lower navel in and up. Open it out to the side. Back to center. Both hands on the waist. Extend the leg. 1, point the toe. 2, 3, and release. Shake the legs out a little bit. That was good. Balancing poses are not hard, especially if you're doing like 3 of them in a row standing up, right? Okay, nothing fancy, just have a seat.
You mean not easy?
Huh?
You mean not easy?
What?
You mean not easy?
Not easy, what did I say?
Balancing poses are not hard.
Oh, that's what I meant.
I didn't know.
I meant to say not easy, you guys, not like, these poses aren't hard. Alright, so we're gonna bring the bottoms of the feet together and knees out to the sides. Grab your ankles for stability. Let's just open up this one more time. We're gonna inhale, lengthen, and then we're gonna exhale and actually make the spine like a C as much as you can. Like the letter C, curve it, drop the top of the head towards the feet. And if you can, if your elbows are touching your legs, try to push into them so your ears or your shoulders will be away from the ears. And it will assist the hips in opening. We're going to take a few breaths here. And then inhale, come all the way up. Use your hands to bring your knees back together. Bring your legs straight out. We're going to do one forward fold and then lie down on our backs. There's nothing more relaxing than hearing mortar and artillery going off in the background as you're in a yoga class. Like, that's so light, isn't it? You're trying to be calm and there's like literal bombs going off in the background. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. So it doesn't matter if you grab your feet here. I'm more interested in you protecting the lower back. So keep the abdominals strong and the shoulders back. If you can grab the feet, that's great too. See if you can grab the outer edges of the feet or the big toes. And then your chin goes towards your shins to keep the neck neutral. As you do this, you're pressing your legs into the mat. One more breath here. Inhale, come all the way up, and then go ahead and lie down. Let the spine settle for a moment. We're going to do one last balance, but it'll be on our back, and it will be bridge. What I want you to do with this is imagine that you have a block in between your thighs, so the legs stay parallel with the ankles. You're going to bring your heels towards the body. Shoulder blades are flat on the mat. You're just going to look straight up the whole time. Don't sacrifice your neck here by moving it around. Inhale and lift your pelvis up towards the ceiling. Press the feet, inner edges of the feet and the heels. If you want, you can interlace your fingers underneath the body and just kind of scooch your shoulders closer to each other. Keep lifting. Take a few breaths here. The knees want to open, don't let them. Keep pressing the inner edges of the feet. One more breath here. See if you can get a little bit higher. Release the fingers, lower the pelvis first, and then kind of unwind the shoulders. Don't hug your knees yet. Just let the spine settle for a moment. And then go ahead one at a time. Knees up towards the body, rock left to right. Squish the lower back on the mat. If you want to take this into a happy baby, you can at this point. We're at the end of our practice, but coming up to the most important Shavasana. Grab the inner edges or the insides of the legs, or if you can grab the bottoms of the feet, do that. Press the knees towards the floor. It doesn't matter if you can't grab the bottoms of the feet though. Just grab the inside of something. And then go ahead and bring the knees back together, feet to the floor. Straighten your legs. And bring the arms overhead. One last stretch. Circle the wrists and the ankles. And then when you're finished, you're going to get ready for Shavasana. So if you like to get a sweatshirt on or socks or something to cover the eyes, go ahead and do that. A blanket to get comfortable. lights out here, so. Get some little line. Once you're lying back down, can you hear me okay still, Jesse? Good. Okay. Once you're lying back down, go ahead and close the eyes. We're gonna start taking some deep breaths. And again, we return back to our home, our balance, our breathing. Each time you exhale, I want you to feel the muscles beginning to soften more and more each time. And if you feel that you have already completely relaxed the body as much as possible, do a scan beginning at the top of the head all the way down to the feet, and notice any areas where you are actually still kind of holding on, and consciously let go in those areas. Remember that if your mind begins to wander, that is normal and it's okay. What we're going to try to do during this time is pay attention to the spaces in between any thoughts that come along. Always using the breath as an anchor. As you give yourself this gift of relaxation. allow your inhalations to begin to deepen. And very slowly, when you're ready, begin to wiggle the fingers and the toes. Now that your nervous system is in balance, you want to keep it that way. And wake the body gently. After another breath or two, let the legs feel heavy as you bend them one at a time. And then take any movement here that you need. Rocking the knees, a twist, another stretch, whatever feels good without thinking about it too much. And then go ahead and roll onto your right side. We're going to pause here. Use your arm as a pillow. Just savor these last couple moments of rest and stillness. And go ahead and very slowly press yourself back to a seated position. Whichever one is comfortable for you. Bring your hands together in front of your heart. Thank you for letting me guide you today. The teacher in me honors and appreciates the teacher in you. Thank you. Thank you, Jesse. I hope you feel good. And this helps settle the rest of your day.
It does. That felt really good, actually. My feet touched the floor and down, like my heels touched the floor in downward dog. And the other day I was like super tight and I couldn't do that.